We have been covering the Botham Jean case for quite some time on this show. Why? Because mainstream media is pretty much stuck on anything Donald Trump tweets, and of course the Brett Kavanaugh hearing. We want to ensure that his case gets all of the attention that it needs, which is why, of course, we had Ben Crump and Lee Merritt on the show today. But I found something very interesting. So this morning, as I was traveling on the train back from New York City, where I was talking to Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart about the new movie Night School. We'll have those interviews for you next week. I was reading today's New York Times. There's this huge front page article in the New York Times talking about how evangelicals are very concerned about the Brett Kavanaugh hearing and how many of them may not go to the polls if somehow Brett Kavanaugh is not put on the Supreme Court. Why? Because they now say if Brett Kavanaugh gets on, they absolutely have a strong 5-vote right-wing conservative majority that will allow them to overturn Roe v. Wade because they are all about being pro-life. And I'm reading the article and I'm seeing Ralph Reed, of course, his Faith and Freedom Coalition, and he's all throughout the article. But then I noticed something, and it hit me. I said, has Ralph Reed said anything about Botham Jean, the Christian who was shot and killed by the police officer in Dallas? So I then went to his Twitter feed, and I realized that after looking for 3 weeks back, I saw nothing. And then Robert Jeffers, of course, he's the preacher down at First Baptist Church in Dallas, a big-time Trump supporter who, of course, is on Fox News as well. He was mighty quiet about Botham Jean as well. Then I looked at Franklin Graham, you know, son of Billy Graham, and he's out here talking about Kavanaugh, and didn't hear a word from Franklin Graham as well. Haven't seen a damn thing from Paula White as well, talking about Botham Jean. Then I thought about Tony Perkins, the Family Research Council. Oh, he's such a super Christian, always about the issue of life and being pro-life, and I didn't see anything about him as well. Of course, earlier this week, we showed you the video of the white preacher in Dallas who spoke about the issue of Botham Jean being shot and killed and why he said it was important to speak about it from the pulpit in a largely white congregation. Here is the reality. White conservative evangelicals don't give a damn about black lives. They love talking about being pro-life, but they only care about life when it is in the womb. Because if you then begin to challenge them on why is it you never see them standing alongside of black preachers when a black person is being shot and killed by a police officer, when they're being brutalized by cops, they are strangely very silent when it comes to that. See, this is no shock because a few years ago, a friend of mine who was a preacher in Omaha, Nebraska, a group of white preachers came to him and they said that they wanted him to stand with them and walk with them in a pro-life march. And he said, no problem, I'm pro-life, I'll stand with you, but I would like for y'all to come with me, to stand in front of some crack houses in our neighborhood to make sure that those crack houses are torn down and folks are dealt with. They said, no, that's your problem. Y'all hear what I just said? They literally said to this black preacher who was about saving the souls and the lives of people who were in crack houses to get them off of drugs, that's your problem. But they wanted him to stand with them when it comes to the issue of abortion. See, that's really the game they're playing because, see, if you are pro-life, then you should be outraged when you see the video of Botham Jean leading his church in worship that previous weekend and then gunned down at the age of 26 in his own apartment. So you rarely ever, matter of fact, not rarely ever, you never see any of these white conservative evangelicals standing with black preachers when it comes to black folks who have been shot and killed with police brutality because, see, they don't give a damn. See, they have situational religion. They have situational ethics, and that's the game they play. So if you don't believe me, wait till Ralph Reed has his conference, his Faith and Freedom conference. And if you look on the agenda, first of all, nearly every Republican who runs for office wants to be at his conference. But if you look at the agenda, you're not going to see many discussions about poverty. You're not going to see many discussions about the issue of race or inequality. Because, see, for them, it's not about the issue of race. It's not about the poor. These are folks who pimp Jesus. These are people who use their so-called prophetic voices to drive a partisan message. But see, again, when it's something else, oh no, they want us to stand together and salute the flag and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and use our voices that way. But they do not care about African Americans who have been impacted by police brutality. Folks, this is very simple. When you see white conservative evangelicals talk about being pro-life, challenge them. Ask them the question, where do you stand about black men who are innocent, who are in prisons? Where do you stand about folks who are being given the death penalty and then all of a sudden find out that they actually are innocent? Where do you stand when police officers are killing black folks who do not have a gun? See, I don't even recall seeing many of these white pastors standing out there with protesters in Chicago for Laquan McDonald, or when Rekia Boyd was shot in the head, or Ayanna Jones in Detroit, or even Walter Scott in Charleston. It is because they actually don't care. And so I'll say this here. The next time y'all want to come talk to black folks about the issue being pro-life, I suggest you be fully pro-life. I suggest you actually care about all lives. Because see, y'all love saying all lives matter. Because see, you don't like us saying black lives matter because you want us to say all lives matter. Well, so if all lives matter, when the hell y'all gonna actually show up when something happens to one of us? Ralph Reed, I'm waiting. I welcome you to come sit on this set. Tony Perkins, I welcome you to come sit on this set. I would love to talk to Robert Jeffers. I would love to talk to Franklin Graham, but I got a sense they won't come here, probably because, we talk to black people. That's my perspective.